Hey, what's up guys? This is Neal Reyes and I want to welcome you to today's episode of Champions Minute. Today I'm going to talk with you about the value of finding freedom in honesty. Get ready. Today's topic that we're going to be discussing is called freedom in honesty. Again, today's topic that we're discussing is called freedom in honesty. You know, I will tell you, and you probably heard me say this before, but throughout my entire management career, I've been managing since I was 18 years old, and I've been blessed to have good leaders to learn from. But in addition to have good leaders to learn from, I have sowed into myself for years. I have worked on personal growth for years by listening to many Christian faith teachings, motivational teachings, how to build myself in leadership and different things of that nature. And I will tell you that one of the most valuable truths I've ever learned is a truth that the Lord showed me within His Word. And at one day when I was before Him and talking to Him, He basically showed me this. He said, son, if you don't ever tell a lie, you won't ever have to concern yourself with tripping over something you forgot you said. That is such a valuable truth, and it has carried me throughout not only my personal walk as a believer, it's carried me throughout my marriage, and in addition to that, it's also carried me through my leadership and management career, and it's something that I try to instill in others as I meet them. Whether they're underneath me in leadership, whether they're part of my management teams, whether they're just someone I'm mentoring or discipling, my children, my whatever it is, my players that I coach, regardless what it is, that is something that I try to instill in them. Now, when the Lord told me that, obviously the flip side of that conversation would be that I'd had a problem with lying at the time. Some people might be, you're a liar. Well, everybody lies at some point, unfortunately. And I shouldn't say everybody, but many people have a problem with lying. The thing about people is that they think that there's such a thing as a little lie and such a thing as a big lie. Or what they call a little lie sometimes is a white lie, meaning it doesn't hurt anybody. It doesn't do any damage. They sometimes will even try to justify that it even protects people. And I will tell you that that is the opposite of the way the Lord views it. The Lord is so big on honor, and He's so big on integrity, and it shows us that over and over within His Word. One of the things He told me is at the time, I had been struggling with lying. I may have not gone around and, lied to people profusely all over the place and, lie here, lie there, lie here, lie there. No, it wasn't anything like that, but I did have a problem with lying within my life. In other words, many times it came actually through leadership. When I was asked to give accountability on something I was working on, or maybe it was a project or a task. If I wasn't ready at the time, I was very bad with procrastination in my life. And so when someone would ask me a question, rather than be honest about it and just say, you know what, I procrastinated on that. I drug my feet. I was lazy with it and I didn't take it serious like I should have. I'd come up with a lie. Regardless whether they knew I was lying or not, the one person that it mattered to the most, who could always see, was the Lord. It tells us in His Word that man judges by the outward appearance, but God judges by the intentions of the heart. When we work as believers, once you become saved, you no longer work for your boss or your manager first. You now work unto the Lord. And how you work unto Him is reflected by how you work for your boss or your manager. So as I would lie and lie and lie, God allowed me to do that for some time. But as I began to grow in my character, He eventually showed me that that was an attribute within my character that He did not like. And in fact, not only did He not like it, I should say, He showed me He despised it. He actually showed me, when He first showed me what He viewed about lying, He showed me He abhorred it. In other words, He hated it. And to say that God hates something, that's an extremely strong statement. After all, God is the God of love. He is love itself. So for God to say He hates something or abhors it or detests it, that He strongly resents it, is a very strong statement. Well, as I allowed Him to show me why He hated it, one of the things He showed me is He said that when I lie, I'm not only not being Christ-like or being His follower, I am actually being a child of the devil. After all, it tells us that the devil is the father of all lies. There is no kind of good lie that can come from God. All lies, say that with me, all lies come from the devil. And he showed me that when I would lie, whether big or little, I was operating underneath the influence of the enemy. And he detests that. After all, he's the father of truth. It's the enemy who's the father of lies. There's a specific scripture he took me to, and I want to share it with you. And basically the way I read it at the time is that we're to put a perverse lips and frolic mouth far from us. The New King James Version actually translates it a little different. This is actually out of Proverbs 4, verse 24. So it's Proverbs chapter 4, verse 24. It says to put away from you a deceitful mouth and put perverse lips far from you. That is what it means to put a perverse lips or deceitful lips, lying lips, far from you. When we as believers and as people learn to quit lying, we'll find freedom from it, because you'll never have to concern yourself with tripping over something you already forgot you said. That is such a valuable truth. Guys, there is freedom in honesty when we learn to quit lying. And when we learn that when we say something, we should mean it. And if someone asks you something and it puts you in a tough situation, you're not to lie about it. You simply be honest and take accountability for it, or tell them you'll have to get back to them. But that is far better than telling a lie and being a child of the devil. Guys, I hope you found this teaching encouraging today. As always, we want to remind you to go by our website at nealreyes.com or swing by any of our social media. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. If these teachings are meaning something to you, then we invite you to share them on your own social media with your friends, your family members, your coworkers. That gives you good talking points to minister with them and talk about the Word and what these teachings meant to you. Guys, as always, we want to remind you that Jesus is Lord and He loves you, and so do we. Thank you, and have a blessed day. Drop.